All right. So, I mean, let's just have some fun with this, right? Like, you find out that somebody's sending out, like, not one round of like, anonymous packages filled with, like, weird shit that trashes you. But I mean, you got a second round, you know? And this time there's, like, a little hate note with it. I mean, lots of thoughts here, but let's just have a little fun with it. And like, I've been asked, of course, like throughout the day, like, Ben, what's that all about? Like, what do you think about that? What do I think about that? Well, I mean, you know, a wide range of emotions here, and let me just be honest with you. Like, let me just be honest. Honest to God, my first reaction is like flattery. Like, holy shit, I didn't realize that was that consequential. I mean, like, somebody is taking the time to put, you know, all this stuff in an envelope and mail it out, and some big anonymous, you know, creepy scheme. I feel like that doesn't happen to everybody. I feel like, you know, that I don't know anybody else that happens to. It makes sense to me that would happen to me. I mean, that's my life somehow. You know, my first reaction is, dude, that's like, I'm really flattered that people would consider me that consequential, that they think that these little Facebook videos that, I mean, you know, a lot more people watch than I ever thought. You know, I mean, little old me, right? And like, somebody feels compelled. I mean, it's so powerful and important, my eloquent words on here, that somebody has to take all the time to send that crap out. That's a lot of time and effort on little old me, man. So I guess, you know, the first reaction is, damn, like, I'm really honored, honestly. And unless these people do some kind of horrific thing that affects my kids or other people's kids, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Katy and I really don't spend a lot of time thinking about them. I mean, like, do you have hobbies or something? Like, knit a sweater or something? I mean, it's kind of sad that somebody's actually doing that, you know? And then, of course, there's the next reaction, which is like, let's be honest, that's creepy as shit. I mean, that's some seriously creepy stuff. And I without going into, like, you know, elaborate detail, and obviously I've had, like, a storied relationship history in my existence, I gotta say, I've never had that, you know? I've had, I mean, crazy, it's nothing, but I've had weird crazy. That's an additional challenge. But I've never had, like, dude, I'm gonna, like, sit here and put some things in an envelope and mail them out anonymously to, like, the guy's clients and contacts, and I'm gonna try and wreck his life. That's creepy. That's creepy, and there's no way to avoid that. I try and tell myself, nah, that's like, happens to everybody. Like, it's just, you know, no, it doesn't. It's creepy as shit. And no, I don't love the fact that somebody's waking up, somebody or somebody's waking up, you know, saying, I got to take this fucker down. Again, even there, like, I got to be honest, like, there's a little ping of like, really, me? I'm that special? But that's creepy as hell. And I don't really understand it. I don't, you know, I'll be honest with you, I just got better things to do than, like, you know, be that, like, to let somebody live in my head rent free that much. So that's definitely a thought. And then there is, like, a little bit of, like, man, that's some fucked up shit, right? Like, I mean, and this isn't like some crazy girlfriend or something. Plenty of those. Still dealing with that. You know, this is like, I mean, that's just a lot of energy, man. You know, and like, they're trying to wreck your life. Again, the wreck your life thing is like, damn, that's, you know, and, you know, the first time around, you know, you definitely get some curious people, and definitely had to have some conversations, and, you know, all was well in the end. You know, the second time around, maybe not, oh, this is just, you know, that, yeah, it's Ben. So, you know, he's pissed somebody off, and that's just what happens. He leaves a big wake. That's what somebody said to me. I thought that was awesome. My friend Jess. And so that's my reaction. The mental illness part is a little disappointing. I mean, I don't have a mental illness, and I never have, but I wish I did today, because if I did, I would really have a lot of things to say about, the propriety of like trying to discredit somebody based upon their mental illness or their mental health. That's shitty, but I feel like, those who have had to carry that cross are better positioned than me to speak about what it's like to, be stripped of one's voice, to be discredited, to be neutered as a human being, really in terms of their truth and their facts and their voice, simply because they have a mental health diagnosis. I don't feel like I have the right really to speak out on behalf of those people, but I'd like to. It's an infinitely shitty thing to do. Makes total sense to me because the people involved in, my litigations, especially Princess Cockroach, makes a living off of, accusing other parents of mental health issues. Did that to Katy. Again, Princess Cockroach went out and, just happened to represent Katy's ex-husband conveniently in that moment. Katy is like, there's nothing, zero. Princess Cockroach just made it up out of thin air. And that's completely against the rules. There's no factual basis to do that. But, when you play in a corrupt court, that's what happens. Like, you can do whatever you want because you're never held to account for it. In fact, recently at a hearing, I'm so just blown away with this idea of the extent to which the princess gets away with everything that I actually asked the court to sanction her $1. Because, it was like, you can't, this is like crazy shit. And like, let's not ask too much, right? Like, I've been fined like $17,000 or something. It's all on appeal. Doesn't matter. That's why we have appellate courts. They're busy. But, like for Princess Cockroach to get sanctioned or held accountable for anything apparently is like never been done. In fact, I have a wager with somebody, like, I think it's $200 if I actually get her sanctioned in that court. At any given moment, she could be sanctioned for like 100 things. But I feel like if the court's actually going to do that, the most it's ever going to do is $1. So that's all I'm asking for. So that's what I asked for. Just sanction her $1. I just want to see if you'll actually do it. There's no doubt that she's in violation of 85 things. But we'll see. So there's that. I don't know, just some creepy stuff, man. In terms of, I think it's bullshit about the mental health that's a tactic. It's super shitty and like, way to make friends, by the way, Cockroach. Obviously, you're not maybe up with the times, but that's kind of like not something we do anymore. Is dehumanize people based on their mental health. So you're losing clients at a record pace, and we both know it because, very frankly, we practice family law now, and like they tell us where they came from, and we all know that this is what that's about. Everybody's running away from the Princess Cockroach. So I get it, and I'm sympathetic, and like, there's excellent, like, COVID era, like, food stamp programs and whatnot that we can help you get set up with. But at the end of the day, I just don't think that, like, the fact that you've done it for a long time is a really great justification for continuing to make money off of creating wholly artificial conflict between parents that operates to the exact opposite of the best interest of kids. I don't think that's what we should be doing. I don't know what to tell you. Find a different line of work. And yeah, it's a big problem. I get it. I totally get it. If everybody catches on to the little racket here, which is like, and everybody does, right? Every single person does. The problem is it's after they've spent 150 grand and they're looking at the other parent at the end and their kids are fucking messing and counseling and they're like, "It's fucking lawyers, man." You know? Everybody to a person. There's not a single human being that I've ever met that said, "You know what? I'm really great. I'm so great. It's just, I'm so happy," especially for our kids. It was really a great thing that we spent 150 grand feeding our lawyers' families, blowing up our own, and getting back to the exact same spot that we began from. I've never, maybe you guys have heard that. So those are my reactions to that little ditty. In terms of like the lies that I'm putting on Facebook, I don't know. I think that Katy and I have, every single circumstance, gone out of our way to be factual and fair, making sure everybody understands it's not about the presiding judge. He has no clue what these people are doing down there. And pointing out where exactly in the record people can verify all this stuff. I haven't had a single person come back and say, "Aha, Ben, you're full of shit. Like we checked you and you're wrong." I mean, you can check us on literally everything we've said. These aren't like conspiracy theories. I mean, half this shit, we say, look, you go down there and look at this. Half of them, I'm holding up the damn document. So I don't know what lies we're talking about here. And then my favorite. This is my favorite. I think it's my favorite. I think the last line says something about like, look at all the rulings against Mr. Dusing, and it includes all these. Well, a couple problems with them. Nothing has been ruled against me at all in the first place because I hate to break it to you, but like the resolution of the like 19 appeals will decide the outcome. And if you missed the part about appellate courts in law school, I mean, I would catch up on that one because it's probably going to ruin your plan. I mean, you know, that's the thing. Like, I mean, it doesn't even really matter what happens here. They're not final, okay? And like, it's starting to make sense to me now why I think, God bless him, Judge Mailing is the single most reversed judge in the Commonwealth. And I don't think it has anything to do with his fault. If he understood what people were putting, what Alice Keys was putting in his orders, I think that he'd understand why everything tends to come back. But yeah, so I mean, now if you want to put like Court of Appeals decisions in there, then that might be a little more make a little more sense. But I don't. That's a bad plot here because there's nothing in there. From the looks at it, some of it I haven't looked at. Some of it is not all that authentic, which may be a separate problem. But even if it were, even on the face of what's there, nothing out of the Kenton County Family Court means jack shit. I hate to tell you that. I mean, I swear to God, it's true. Okay, it means shit, right? You know, the Court of Appeals, who has plenty of practice being like, oh my God, another one from this court. They have to like, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. Here's the other thing I think that like probably ought to be pointed out to you. So, right, you guys understand that the whole point here is that there are lawyers on the outside, one in particular, who has a big time hookup at the judge's chambers, and she pulls all the levers of justice to give special access to the courts to that private attorney, Princess Cockroach, and direct outcomes for that attorney, Princess Cockroach, and to put tens of thousands of dollars in her pocket by doing what she can to award, attorney's fees for the other side, which are more readily available in this context than in a normal case, which I didn't realize, and I think most lawyers probably wouldn't realize. But there are special mechanisms in the family court statutory scheme whereby the reallocation of attorney's fees is way more achievable. There's just special rules that apply. I mean, typically, in a case, you're almost certainly not being awarded the other side's attorney's fees. We all understand that. That's not the case in family court under the law, as I now, after I've studied it here, I think it's KRS 403.220 off the top of my head. But that is, you know, if somebody wanted to really like, I don't know, maybe our federal law enforcement friends who have suddenly taken an interest in these hearings by attending them, you know, you wanted to make a really interesting chart, go back and look at all of Princess Cockroach's representations and total up the number of fees that have been awarded to her by the court. Cha-ching, baby. I think in my case, the total is she's requested $162,000 and is fucking pissed because we put up such a damn fight that the court gave her at trial. I mean, that's why she hates me so much. I've interrupted a revenue stream, you know, $162,000 for a paternity case. Yeah, not great. But here's the thing. Do you not understand that the whole freaking point is that, you know, there's a hookup on the inside and that person writes the orders, right, that you're sending out and puts, you know, and does that. So, you know, here, look at the orders. Look what the corrupt person wrote about Ben. That's, from a certain perspective, not really making, you're kind of making my point, right? Do you get that? So, man, I don't know what I'm saying on these little videos that's all that threatening to you, other than like I am threatening tens of thousands in ill-gotten gains in the form of like illegally rerouted statutory attorney's fees, and basically causing all of those out there that might hire you to fight these wars to understand that like it's going to kill their kids and kill their pocketbooks, and they'll realize that in the end. Other than that, what am I doing to you? Listen, I think you might need a hug. And I just want you to know, anytime you want a hug, you can come over to 809 Right Summit, okay? Hugs. All right.